Welcome back. Just coming up to 10:15 here in Paris, time for Campaign Chronicles, our daily look at what's making the news in the French presidential election. Well, with just 72 days to go before polls open, and Nicolas Sarkozy seems to be upping his game. In an interview with Le Figaro magazine, he's outlined some pretty radical plans for the future of France. Of course, he still hasn't officially said whether or not he's going to be running for re-election, but some say that he could be announcing his candidacy next week. And as odd as it may sound, France's oldest power station seems to be at the heart of Nicolas Sarkozy's campaign.
President Sarkozy's promised to keep it open. Socialist candidate François Hollande wants to shut it down. The Fessenheim power station in Alsace has become a battleground for France's presidential election.
Why do they want to shut Fessenheim? To score cheap points? To please who? They haven't thought this through.
Keen to get voters on side, Sarkozy's got the support of the station's workers, whose jobs are on the line. In an interview with Le Figaro magazine to be published this weekend, Sarkozy outlined a strict conservative vision for France's future. And radical changes lie ahead if he gets his way. When it comes to unemployment benefits, Sarkozy wants to tighten access to welfare. People out of work won't be allowed to turn down training after a certain period of unemployment. If unions oppose the measure, Sarkozy could resort to hold a referendum. A vote could also be on the cards on the subject of immigration. Sarkozy wants to give administrative courts the power to expel foreigners. He's also reinforced his conservative roots by stating he's against gay marriage. He outlined the sanctity of the family and Christian values. The same reserve is applied to the legalization of euthanasia. Sarkozy says it goes against human dignity to legalize such an act, while rivals want euthanasia allowed. Saying all this, he still hasn't officially announced his candidacy, although he told Le Figaro the moment is approaching.
Well, staying with Campaign Chronicles for a moment, Florence Villeminot is here to tell us a bit about how the French press has been covering all this, of course taking up an increasing amount of space in the newspapers here in France. A lot of reaction to that interview Mr. Sarkozy gave to the Figaro, of course.
That's right. A lot of newspapers got a sneak peek, even though the interview is only coming out tomorrow. And of course, Le Figaro got a sneak peek since it's in Le Figaro magazine.
The sneakest of all, I would have thought.
Exactly, sneakest of all, absolutely. Now, they have always been a cheerleader of the president, and so their headline is Nicolas Sarkozy's priorities for a second term. So they obviously think he's going to announce it very soon. And now, according to the article in Le Figaro, it says that the president has sparked a war on values with this by focusing on hard work and responsibility and authority. And in the editorial, they actually focus on one of the aspects of Sarkozy's interview, where he promised a referendum on restricting the right to unemployment benefits, which is a very hot topic, especially given the current economy. And Le Figaro applauds Sarkozy for, wishing to ask French people directly what their opinion is rather than always going through the elite. Now, we're going to take a look at the left-leaning newspaper, Libération, which also is coming up, which is also focusing on this interview. It says that even though he's not a candidate, he's definitely set the stage for a re-election campaign marked by a conservative social agenda.
It's very clear there in their title how they feel about his views.
Absolutely. Le reactionary and a very menacing-looking Sarkozy there. Now, Libération accuses Sarkozy of going backwards, of taking this serious step to the right and, defending these right-wing values. For instance, we just saw there in that package, he wants to oppose gay marriage, restrict immigration, and there's a very harsh editorial in Libération where they actually call Sarkozy a clown and a hypocrite for being this kind of fake candidate because he hasn't officially announced that he's running, but yet he's, laying out his campaign right here. And, Sarkozy has often called himself the captain of a ship in a storm, and they say that he's actually a captain who's lost his compass, and this move to the right shows that he's on the defensive. And we're going to take a look at L'Humanité, the communist newspaper, which is also focusing on this interview, and they call it a publicity stunt and says that Sarkozy is basically just trying to grab all the attention while he can.
Now, meanwhile, another newspaper, the Free newspaper, 20 Minutes, is focusing on Eva Joly, the presidential candidate, of course, for the Green Party.
She's got a new look, according to the Free newspaper. Eva Joly relook sa campagne. She's given her campaign a makeover, starting with herself. She's got a new haircut, and she's stopped wearing her trademark sunglasses, these little round glasses that she's very well known for here in France. Now, I guess you could say it's a publicity stunt for her, but her campaign team is actually calling it political marketing marketing, because in politics, packaging is very important, says the article.
Florence Vimino, thanks very much for all that. We'll be hearing more from you, of course, over the course of the coming days, keeping a close eye for us on the French presidential campaign as it heats up. Coming up in just a moment, we're going to be getting all the latest in culture. The art of the French kiss, indeed, today. Our fashion reporter, Jessica Michaud, will have all the strictly sartorial tips we'll need in just a moment for the most romantic holiday of the year, just coming up, Valentine's Day, of course. Do stay with us.